Hi guys, it's Caleb here from Gun Nuts Media, and I haven't done a live stream in a while because they take time and they're sort of time consuming, but I'm doing one today, and today I'm going to read your comments on the live stream. So without further ado, let's roll into this. Now, some of you may have noticed that I do occasionally respond to comments. Honestly, I have been working online for the gun industry for years, and I like arguing with people. I always have, and I probably always will. So occasionally when somebody posts a really dumb dick comment, I like to go after them, and we'll have back and forth, and eventually it will all degrade downhill until somebody calls me, it's a word that I'm not going to say because YouTube will pull this video if I do, etc. That sort of stuff. But here we go. So I'm going to read some good comments, and I'm going to read some dumb comments. Let's start with a dumb comment from Bubba Blackman. For 380 Underwood Extreme Defense, consistent 14-inch penetration with the same or better damage than hollow points, and no problem with barrier penetration. It's probably the first time he's ever seen 14-inch penetration. Anyway, the reason why this is a dumb comment, and I don't mean to embarrass Bubba here, but the Underwood Extreme Defense ammo is stupid. It's a gimmick round, and the problem with it is that it doesn't do anything that isn't done cheaper by ball ammunition. How do you okay, I'll get to that question in a minute. So the Underwood Extreme Defense ammo doesn't do anything that isn't done better and cheaper by ball ammunition. If you're going to carry a 380, you might actually just be better off carrying ball, because 380 will feed reliably in everything and will also penetrate deep enough in everything. All right, let's see next. This one is from Pork Chops Poppy. Oh good, another noob who's an internet expert, with internet expert in the wrong quotes. Just so you, Pork Chop, if you ever see this, you're supposed to use double quotations, not single quotations, when you mean something sarcastically. Anyway, that's fun. Let's see. Here's one from 19 hours ago. This is from James McLean. I'm sure that's yes, I do carry it home actually, but but I'm not carrying right now because I'm doing this. What are your thoughts on muzzle brakes or other devices for concealed carry? I like muzzle brakes for concealed carry. I had one on a gun that I carried for some time, but that's another question. It's an interesting question. I'm going to go back to the do you carry at home question. Yes, I do, unless I'm doing something that doesn't mix well with carrying a firearm, like drinking. I like red dot sights on handguns. I have one on my carry gun right now. I have no opinion on the P10 because I've never fired it, and it's rarer than hen's teeth. All right, so here is the question. The comment. Man, this guy has issues. Economics be damned. I carry reliable throwaway all-metal pistols. If lost or stolen or tossed off a bridge, then I go home and get something else out of the safe. I don't mind carrying good quality machinery. I just have a hard time when they are stolen, or if used in self-defense and then disposed in an orderly manner. I might have regrets throwing my Beretta or Browning in the ocean, but my Bursa, I'll give it a good toss and drink a toast to saving my life. What a delightful fantasy life this guy just led, because he basically just said in a publicly discoverable forum that if he used his gun in self-defense, he'd throw it into the ocean. That's illegal. Super illegal. All right. Now here's one I do want to address. So one of my more popular videos on this channel has been chamber empty carry is stupid. And if I go to that video, there will be a number of comments from people telling me that, oh, well, the Israelis use it, blah-da-dee-da. The Israelis use it, da-da-da-da-da. Yes. Pause. There's a reason the Israelis use chamber empty carry. The Israeli army, if you don't know, back when it was first stood up in the late 40s post-World War II, was a barely organized militia with a hodgepodge of weapons. And I do mean a hodgepodge of weapons. They had 1911s and Browning high powers and all sorts of guns that didn't necessarily have the same manual of arms. So what they needed was to create a single system that could be used to train large numbers of untrained people and would work reliably across all of these disparate weapon systems. So, chamber empty carry, because if there's one thing people say about chamber empty carry that's correct, it's that it works regardless of the type of pistol that you have. If you have a semi-automatic pistol, chamber empty carry will work to chamber a round and get the gun into the fight. Now, the reason why they still use chamber empty carry is, do you know how hard it is to get a government institution to stop doing something once they've started doing it? It's almost impossible. They've been using chamber empty carry for so long, and they've just kept using it. There's no need for them to modernize their system because, important thing to note, the regular Israeli army, just the regular Israeli army, is a conscript army. It's not like our army or our Marine Corps or any branch of our military where it is staffed entirely by volunteers. The average lower ranking enlisted person, i.e. the guy who does the bleeding and the dying, is a conscript. Chamber empty carry works for training conscripts. And one last note on the Israeli military and their use of chamber empty carry. I know for a fact that their elite units, the Israeli equivalent of the Navy SEALs or Green Berets or whatever special operations unit you currently have a boner for, doesn't use chamber empty carry. They carry with one in the pipe, just like every other elite military unit on the planet does. All right, so stop with the Israeli crap on the chamber empty carry video, because chamber empty carry is still stupid. All right, back to the comments. I had a burst of thunder. Here's an interesting one. So in my the 5 worst guns for concealed carry video, I mentioned at the beginning of it that I am an Air Force combat arms instructor. I get comments a lot where people are like, I didn't know the Air Force had combat arms. So in the Army, combat arms means an MOS such as the infantry, i.e. one that is designed to close and destroy with the enemy. In the Air Force, what a combat arms instructor means is basically I am a firearms instructor. I teach everyone in the Air Force how to shoot, whether it's security forces members, pilots, people who are deploying and need to qualify on a weapon system. Air Force combat arms instructors are responsible for the training and also the maintenance of all Air Force weapon systems. So you have some combat arms instructors who have really cool guy jobs and they're assigned to special operations units, and I don't know what they do because I don't have one of those jobs. But if you're out there seeing this and you're in AFREC and you're looking to hire a combat arms instructor at Patrick Air Force Base, look me up. Anyway, let's see. I'm looking for ones where people are saying things that are mean to me. Another one that comes from my 5 worst guns for concealed carry video. Lots of people defend mini revolvers. Why? There's a lot of people whose defense of the mini revolver in that video is, well, it's not designed as a primary carry gun. That's weird. I'm getting a phone call. How strange. Well, they hung up, so I guess it wasn't that important. So, there's a lot of people that defend the mini revolver as, it's not a primary carry gun, bro. I know that. It's not a carry gun at all. It's an interesting piece of engineering, but it's not really suitable for defensive use. And all these guys are saying, oh, well, you're supposed to use it as a 3rd-tier backup sock gun, blah, blah, blah. Those guys are living a really active fantasy life. If you think that you're going to be in a violent encounter that gets to the point where you are on your 3rd gun and you're having to shoot someone else off of you with a 22 Magnum revolver that you're carrying in your fucking sock, you don't need that revolver. You need a jiu-jitsu class. You need to take some extreme close quarter concepts from Craig Douglas, son. You don't need a stupid little 22 Magnum revolver. You need to get better at fighting people with your hands. All right. Here's a dude who says the way I handle firearms is scary. Here's one. Caleb, I think a good topic would be, so you now own a concealed handgun. You're faced with a deadly situation. What happens to you now? I guess the responsibilities of carrying a handgun. Cops show up, you're going to be questioned and required to complete a statement as to why you use deadly force. Are you going to be prepared for the media and their many questions because they will be at your door now? Will we be prepared for the threats from friends and family members that may follow? Lastly but not least, will you be prepared for the civil lawsuit that is surely going to follow? Just a thought for forum. Sorry for the long narrative. So post-shooting consequences. This could be a 45-minute video all by itself. What happens after you shoot someone? And I'm not an expert on that. I've taken classes that discuss it and that deal with it, but I honestly think that the best person that you can go to get training in that is from Muzzle. His class, Mag 40, is the best preparation for how to handle post-shooting, post-incident management, all right? After you've used your gun in self-defense, what should you do? Who should you talk to? That sort of stuff. Generally speaking, my advice on that sort of stuff is have a good lawyer on retainer. There's a lot of these concealed carry insurance groups out there, and I don't have an opinion on any of them. So don't ask me for that because I don't use them. I have a lawyer on retainer. It's really expensive. I should probably stop paying him because that costs a lot of money. Anyway, let's see. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, here's a fun one. This one's just terrible. This is just a dummy. On my chamber empty carry is stupid video, which attracts a lot of dumb comments. Depending on which firearm I have and my location varies how I carry. Mechanic, the only safety it has is on the trigger, so I can either carry that one hot and ready or empty chambered. My old school Ruger, I carry chambered but hammer up and safety usually on because I can disable the safety and pull back the hammer in one, use the number one, swift motion. Now when I get my 1911, I'll probably carry that with either hammer up, safety off, or hammer down, safety off. Those are both not how the 1911 is supposed to be carried. The 1911 powder and pistol is designed to be carried in one condition, cocked and locked. That would be with the hammer back and the safety on. That's how John Moses Browning designed it to be carried when God Almighty passed the design down to him on the Mount of Olives, all right? If you carry your 1911 in any other condition, then one in the chamber, hammer back, safety on, you're carrying it wrong, and you should be ashamed of yourself. I think my favorite thing about the YouTube comments that I get is just the atrocious spelling that I get from these people. And there's fun ones where people just say, smack my head, this is a joke. Okay, that's cool. People misspell the word a lot. So guys, for everyone who wants to leave crappy comments for me in the future, a lot is 2 words. It's the letter A and a space and then the word lot, L-O-T, a lot. Not a-lot, not allet, not A-L-O-T or A-L-L-O-T. Those are not real words. They don't exist. So if you want to say that you own a lot of good guns but always trust your high point, which is a comment I've gotten, it's A space L-O-T, a lot, okay? Not A-L-O-T. I can't even read this one. Okay, I'm gonna try to read this one. Now there are some Now there are some who have posted indicating chamber loaded is not important and quoting articles not up to date. The chamber should always be loaded no matter what. And he used like 7 ellipses. Also, okay, this guy was agreeing with me, but the comment's terrible. Also, I'm going to try to read it verbalizing his punctuation. Now, there's some who have posted indicating chamber loaded is not important and quoting articles not up to date. The chamber should always be loaded no matter what. Also, if you have an arm that is disabled, how the hell can you rack the damn slide? There are drills where we have to draw weak-handed because the good arm is disabled. If you had to carry and empty, he says if you had to carry and empty chamber in those situations, we'll just bend over and kiss your dumbass goodbye. For those who do not agree with the video, then do what real Americans do: grow balls, build a bridge, get the hell over it. The parts where I was shouting was where he was typing in all caps. That's from Gary Finstrom with 2 N's. My favorites, some of my favorite comments. So I talk shit about the 40 Smith & Wesson because if you understand handgun wounding ballistics, you'll know that you can't do anything with a 40 that you can't also do with a 9 or a 45, right? Like, you guys get that? Okay. 40 fanboys just get so butt mad on the worst cartridges for self-defense video. Ballistics, 40 greater than 9. Capacity, 40 greater than 45. Ballistics takes 45 plus P to equal 40. Look it up. Okay. I just replied, I said, you are incorrect. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Here we go. Ooh, here's one of the... you should keep... Hey, somebody's reading my... somebody's paying attention. All right. So here's one of those Israeli comments I referenced earlier. Another YouTube gun expert. Sorry, but 3+ million Israelis disagree with you. Sorry, but I'll trust people who have been in daily conflict over the past 50+ years over someone who is only pushing theory. Also, appendix carry is a moron's dream. After all, in MICMAP, we were taught to never point any weapon at your triangle of death. Okay, so the guy claims to have been a Marine, because that's MICMAP stands for Marine Corps Martial Arts Program. And apparently your triangle of death is your dick triangle, like, which you can't really see on me. Man, I could have done this entire video with no pants on. Shit. So anyway, your dick triangle. Yeah, and it's amazing the number of those that I get. Oh yeah, also a lot of people like to make fun of the mustache I was sporting in a lot of last year's videos, which is fair. It probably wasn't my best look. All right, here's a good one. So in my 5 worst guns for concealed carry, I'm printing pretty badly. I know, I don't care. I was in the store that I owned at the time, and I just threw a polo shirt on over my gun. I carried openly in the store a lot. So, thank you. The mustache was awesome. Okay, so hang on. Here's the story of the fucking porn stash and why it went bye-bye from my pretty face. All right, so here's what happened to the mustache. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm in the Air Force. And I was up for a promotion. And I showed up a couple of days early before I tested for my promotion. And my mustache was superbly out of regs. I mean, it was just, right? It's huge. Super duper out of regs. So, that would have been fine, except I was out in the smoke pit feeding my cancer cells, and I ran into our squadron commander, who is a great dude. He just retired. Here's to you, Colonel P. You probably won't ever see this, but you were a fucking phenomenal officer. So anyway, I run into our commander. I'm super duper out of regs. I say, hello, sir, blah, blah, blah. You know, I observe my customs and courtesies, go about my business. Well, later that evening, I run into my immediate supervisor, the master sergeant, who's in charge of me. And the master sausage says, hey, you need to get your mustache back in line. All right, Master Sergeant, I absolutely do. So I go upstairs to trim it at the end of the evening. I will do whatever I want. Dude in the comment just said he loves me, but I shouldn't sing. Anyway, so I go upstairs at the end of that evening to trim my mustache, and mind you, I had been drinking a lot. So, get out my clippers, and it's like zzz, zzz, fuzz. And that bzz part was where I fucked up bad. And I looked in the mirror, and I'll get to that in a minute. I looked in the mirror, and my options were Hitler mustache or no mustache. And I felt like I was pushing my luck as it was, so I just decided no mustache. So I shaved the mustache off. I want to say this was November of last year. I shaved the mustache off, and shortly thereafter that, I met my girlfriend that I'm dating right now, and she doesn't like the mustache, and I like her, so that's the end of the mustache. All right, I'm going to answer a couple more questions. We are at... I'm going to answer a couple more questions. We're at about 20 minutes for this video, so I'm going to take 2 or 3 more questions, maybe read a couple more comments. There was a question just now in the comments. What's a good holster for OWB carry? There's a million good holsters for OWB carry. Do you want leather or Kydex or, there's 100,000 options. Hold that thought. Aha! This is one of my favorite OWB holsters. It's a Galco gun leather. The model's L159er WC, I think. Anyway, this is a Galco gun leather holster. This is for a Beretta 92. I use it all the time for OWB carry. It is honestly one of my favorite holsters ever made. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you guys some generic holster advice, all right? If you want an appendix carry holster, you want to get a Dark Star Gear or a Filster. Those are my boys. I use their holsters exclusively for AIWB. I am testing out a holster right now from North Central Illinois Custom Kydex, and it's pretty dope. I'm digging on it. I'm digging on it a lot. But generally speaking, my go-to recommendations I'll answer the 1911 question in a second. My go-to recommendations for Kydex holsters are Dark Star Gear and Filster. And this North Central Illinois dude, he's got a fucking good holster, and I'm digging it. Leather holsters. If you're not going to go boutique, all right? If you're not gonna basically have your shit handmade by, Siberian pistol fighting monks that have been doing it for 1,000 years, passing the traditions of sewing bear hides into holsters down from father to next monk, because I guess monks take vows of celibacy. Anyway, if you're not going to do that, just get a Galco holster. I've got the Galco Combat Master, I think is what that one's called, and then I have a Galco Royal Guard. The Galco Royal Guard 2 is their version of the old Milt Spark Summer Special, and it is fucking great. I carried my... some reason Siri thought I was talking to her. That was weird. TAC XPD, hollow point ammo, awesome stuff. All right, so the last question I'm going to answer, and then we'll wrap this video up. Somebody asked, why did the 1911 tests go away? Well, the 1911 tests went away because, to be perfectly frank, I got tired of doing them. I had shot, by the end of the last test, I'd shot something like 10,000 rounds through various 1911 platform pistols, and the results were all pretty much the same, with the exception of my Rock Island Ultra FS 9mm pistol, which performed wildly better than any 9mm 1911 that costs $500-600 has any right to perform. The results were all pretty much the same, and they were what I expected them to be. So I kind of gave up on doing them because I got tired of it. It was the same thing over and over and over again, and it stopped being fun. And the point that I have been making my entire career doing this is, yeah, all right, Wayne Dobson, here's a shout out to you. Cheers, go drink some whiskey. Kentucky's fucking great. One of my favorite places in the country. So anyway, I just got tired of doing them. And, I wanted to do other stuff. So I'm doing other stuff now. I'm doing a long-term test on the Beretta APX, which I like quite a bit so far. As a matter of fact, I gotta go pick up those mags they sent me. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in to this 25-minute long live stream. Y'all stay safe out there, keep carrying your guns, but most importantly, run your gun, not your mouth.